We have the 1 peak power supply. This is a programmable power supply. This is the EPS 1602. This is 160 volts at 2 amperes. So this is a 320 watts power supply. 160 to ampere input, 115 to 30. So that's a selector switch here for the input voltage 220 or 110, 120. So this power supply is using a voltage doubler in the primary input side. It does not have a power factor correction circuit. So it comes in this brown box here. So the power supply is just shaped in this brown box. It has two foam padding. So the power supply includes this manual here. We have our small warranty card. We have the power supply, the power cable and the output cable. So that's what is included in the power supply. So let's plug this power supply in. So we have three connectors here. This is the negative, this is the ground, and this is the positive output. And we have a voltage display here, current, and this is the wattage display. When the power supply is, the output of the power supply is off, it will display off here to turn the power supply. We have the on-off switch here for the output. Okay, so we have three memory button here. We have two USB connection here, USB-C and USB-A, and this is the main power button here. So this is a mechanical switch. So without any load, the power supply pulls about 3 watts. So if we turn this off, since this is a mechanical switch, there should be no power pull from the power supply, from the power source. So if we turn the power supply off, there's no current through from our AC power source. Says here programmable DC power supply. So this is the adjustment for the voltage and the current. Oh, it's not focusing. Okay, so to adjust the voltage, you need to press this knob here from right to left. Okay, so it moves from right to left. So you can adjust it here. You can set the output voltage using this knob, and this is for the current, for the overcurrent protection. You can set the current limit here. So the power supply is only rated at 2 amperes, so you cannot set it more than 2.2 amps. That is the hard limit. So we're going to turn on the output of the power supply. We have 20 volts. The output is set to 20 volts. So we have a current limit here at 2 amperes. Our current limit is 2 amperes. If we press the current knob, our current limit displays. So let's look at we have two output here, USB A and C. I tried the manual says that this is a fast charging port. Okay, it's here. 15 type CA fast charging interface. Tried charging my phone here, but it was only able to deliver like 0.8 amps, so I do not know if this is really a fast charging port or not. Okay, so I'm charging the phone. You can see it says turbo charge, but the current pull from the power supply is less than 1 amp. That is pretty low, 0.3 amps. And now it's pulling 1 amp. although it's charging at 1 amp, that's still too low for a turbo charge. I guess this is a bit useless for fast charging the phone, but it's better to use the proper charger for your phone instead of this one. Okay, so the output of the power supply is set to 20 volts. Let's see the voltage reading at our multimeter. Okay, so that is the reading from our DC electronic load, around 20.1 volts, 20.09. And this is our reading from our unity meter, 20.03 volts. Let's try 10 volts. Okay, so we have 10 volts output. So that's about 10 to 16 millivolt difference. Let's try maybe let's try 50 volts output. So we have, okay, that's 50.03. So that is our output, 50.075. So it's about 75 to 77 millivolts higher. Now let's try 100 volts. Okay, so that is 100 volts, 100.2 on our DC electronic load, 100.11 on our unity meter. Let's try 160 volts. Okay, 140.3 on our DC electronic load, 140.12 on our unity meter. Okay, so that is the maximum voltage output, 161 volts, 161.2 on our DC electronic load, 161.12. So about 0.12 volts higher. We're going to test the overcurrent setting of the power supply. So I have a 1 ampere current limit here. In order for us to use the overcurrent protection of the power supply, we need to turn this on here, of OCP, overcurrent protection. So we need to turn that on. Okay. Okay, let's turn on the output of the power supply. Okay, so the setting for our DC electronic load is 1 ampere plus 10 milliampere. Okay, so the 1010 milliampere, 1 ampere plus 10 milliampere. We have a 1 ampere current limit, 1 ampere. So let's turn on the electronic load, turn it on. Okay, so the overcurrent protection trip. So the overcurrent protection of the power supply is working. Okay, let's set the overcurrent protection to say 20 milliampere. And let's set this to 30 milliampere. That is 30 milliampere. Okay, let's turn on the power supply. So the 20 milliampere is not enough to even charge output capacitor of the secondary output capacitor of this power supply. It will trigger the overcurrent protection. So let's turn off the overcurrent protection first. Turn that off. Turn it on. Okay, let's turn on the overcurrent protection. So we have a 30 milliampere load on our electronic load. Okay, so the overcurrent protection works. That is the power supply is set to 20 milliampere and the electronic load is set to 30 milliampere. Now let's look at the insides of the power supply. First, before looking at the inside, let's set this at 160 volts and test the output. Okay, that's the maximum output, 161 volts. Let's set the current output to maximum. Overcurrent protection on. Let's set this to 2.2 first. Okay, that's 2.2 amperes. Let's turn the output. Let's turn on the output of the power supply. Okay, let's turn it on. So this electronic load is pulling around 2.18 amp. Sensor 2.18 also, 351 watts. And this is rated for 320 watts, 2 amperes. So let's set this to 2.3 amps. If the .3. Okay, let's turn it on. Okay, so the overcurrent protection triggered. Okay, so it's now time to open the power supply to see the insides of the power supply. So it looks like this is our primary driver. There's two of them, and we have a big secondary rectifier here. So that is secondary output rectifier 301120. So we have our main choke here after the rectifier, and then we have a filter capacitor. And then we have our choke, another capacitor. and it looks like the shunt, the current sensor is connected to the return. Okay, so this is our return here, the black cable, the negative line. So the shunt is not connected in the positive line. Instead, it's connected to the return, the negative line. And we have a nice size output transformer here. You can see here the ground is properly connected to the chassis. Yeah. Okay, so that is our ground cable here, the yellow and green cable. I think maybe we may be able to see it a bit clearly on this side. So you can see the ground is properly bolted to the chassis. Okay, so on the primary side we have our Y capacitor, this blue one here. And we have our X capacitor, the yellow one, this one. And we have our common mode choke for our EMI RFI filtering. And this is our main rectifier diode. We have a NTC here for our current limiting on the primary side. We have another bridge rectifier here, probably power supply for the display and other circuits. So we have a fan here, looks like a 60 mm fan. So let's try to see what is that chip. Looks like a TL494. Okay, so that is an old school TL494. So that is the control chip. Let's see what's the value of our secondary output capacitors. 150 microfarad at 200 volts. There's two, and let's see the other one. This one is a bit smaller. This one is 100 UF at 200 volt. Let's see the value of our primary capacitor. Looks like a 680 UF, 200 volt, 680, 200 volt. So this is our display board. TM1629. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. See you next time. This is the one pick EPS 1602.